So two different types. I'm going to do chicken thighs, which I'm going to coat, and then I'm going to deep fry these for a few minutes first, seal the crumb, and then I'm going to, because it's a thicker bit of meat, I'm going to throw it into the Ninja grill on air crisp for about 20 minutes, just to make sure the chicken is fully cooked. In mini fillets, which I'm going to make into little bite size, so like popcorn chicken. So I'm going to do the thighs first. I'm going to prep them first. I'm using lard. You can also use coconut oil for this as well. So the big drums of coconut oil, not the little, well, I suppose you could use the little jars, but not very cost effective. I'm just melting the lard down. We will want that at around about 190, close to 200 degrees. If it's too cold, unfortunately the crumb's gonna come off. I'm just gonna cut, so these are skinned and boned chicken thighs. So I'm gonna just cut them in half. You will find you get some slightly chunkier bits. You could even go a little bit smaller than this if you wanted. But that's quite a small one, so I'm gonna leave that alone. Again, small one. This one, you can see this one, it's not been trimmed very well, so it's got quite a lot of the fat on the side of it. Leave it on if you want, it's entirely up to you. I'm also checking, as I'm cutting these in half, I'm checking for little shards of bone just to make sure it's all been taken out. You'll often get, there's a little bit there, you'll often get tiny little splinters of bone. So that's the chicken effectively prepped. Now if you've got the time to set this aside in some milk and lemon juice, just to let it tenderize overnight, then do that. It does work. However, I'm just going to dip them in a bit of egg and milk, and then I'm using the fried chicken blend mix, but I've got a big bag of it. So, because I've got quite a lot of chicken, I'm going to dip it in a little bit of egg and milk. So I'm dipping the chicken in the egg and milk before it goes into the crispy coating. Just going to season the egg mix, although to be fair, don't over season it because the fried chicken mix is quite powerful. How many carbs? So what's the mix itself?
100 grams of this is 15.8. How much do you use per
portion? We'll find out because you don't use much. So I'm going to use the chicken thighs first. Quick dunk in the egg and the milk. Right, the oil's coming up to temperature. Let me just test it. 150, 160, 170. It's climbing, but not quite there yet. So let's nudge it up one more. Into the chicken mix. I'm going to do 2 or 3 pieces at a time because I want to drop them into the oil quite quickly. Right, we've just hit 191, so I'm going to keep the temperature at that heat while we start adding some chicken in. So it's a little bit low. You can see coated the chicken straight in. Please be careful if you're doing this with fingers. Use a set of tongs. If you're just unsure about the heat, just leave it alone for a minute. I've used about half so far, Matt. So that's for what, 6 pieces of chicken so far.
So that's 30 grams of mix.
So about 30 grams of mix for 6 pieces so far.
5 grams of carb.
Alright, I am not trying to fully cook them in here. I might do some in a minute, see how long it takes to cook the chicken thighs. All I'm trying to do is get a good seal on the crumb before moving it into the Ninja grill. They're done all the way around. So I'm going to pop them, perhaps I can use that, into the grill, just so I can carry on cooking the other bits. Give them another few seconds. Right, so I'm going to pop these into the Ninja into the Ninja grill now. It's on air crisp, but I'm not using the basket, so as you could do. Tell you what, I'm going to leave those two pieces in there to cook all the way through. I want to see what it looks like when it's been fully cooked, fully deep fried. So I've added another 50 grams into there. So again, you're just dunking it in the hot oil for a couple of minutes just to get that nice crunchy colour. Last one to go into the chicken thighs. Right, so in total, I used 125 grams of mix, the chicken mix.
For 900 grams of
and
chicken.
That's covered 900 grams of chicken. Do you know what? I'm going to add an extra 5 grams, because it's not quite got enough crumb there.
So 130.
130 grams of the chicken mix to work with 900 grams of chicken thighs, and then the very last couple of bits to go in. So there you go, 130 grams of the chicken mix to one complete tray of skinless, boneless chicken thighs. That's all of our chicken sort of quickly fried and just finishing off in there. Exactly the same, but with chicken breast. Deep fry it, it'll be done, because we're going to cut it into smaller pieces. I'm just going to reduce the temperature of it a little bit. They're going to cook within a couple of minutes.
So did you turn the heat down for the
I've
large...
just turned it down
just to stop it smoking?
to stop it from overheating while I'm prepping this, because I can see it's sitting at, it's at least 200 degrees right now. It's at 230.
Wow.
So I need it to come down a little bit. Right, so the mini fillets. If you're going to cook it, if you're going to do a full mini fillet, then it's still going to take, you know, a good 5-6 minutes to cook all the way through. I'm going to cut it into sort of little chunks.
So popcorn chicken.
So it's about, I don't know, it's about 2 centimeters thick. Cutting each mini fillet into about 3 or 4 pieces. See, it's a 320 gram packet of mini fillets. Use chicken breast as well. So I'm gonna add 50 grams into here. We might get it all out, 50 grams. Yeah, again, don't drop the chicken in from a height. Take it nice and easy.
Do as I say,
Do as
not
I
as
say,
do.
not as I do. Right, so the oil when I put the chicken in, was sitting at 230. I've loaded it up and it's now come crashing down to 170. So I need to get it up just a little bit quickly. Alright, so these can be cooked completely in the oil. Alright, so the oil's recovered quite nicely now. The chicken has been cooking. It helps that it not to be too hot. That's why I want it turning down, because I don't want the crumb to burn before the chicken's cooked. So I'm just going to test this piece. So there you go. It's sitting at 80 something.
83.
83. So it's done. It's done. No guessing. You don't need to worry about it. If the temperature in the middle of the chicken says 83, then you get perfectly cooked. So this here, which, you know, is a...
It's quite sizable, isn't it? Once it's been
It's a,
fried.
that's a size, I mean, 320 grams of chicken, so generally that's a 2-portion bowl. what did we say that was? 7 grams of carbs. That was 50 grams of mix. So 7 grams of carbs, and there's a good amount of chicken here. There's a good amount of chicken. Right, so here you go. Here's the difference between the chicken that was quickly fried first, and then into the air fryer, and then the chicken that wasn't fried first. Now, I don't know if you can see too well, but it's the crumb's thinner. It looks thinner, so it's not stuck as well. But the chicken in itself,
I suppose because there's baking powder in the mix, obviously the stuff that's been fried has an opportunity to pop up.
the chicken in itself is fully cooked. It's just that when you look at the crumb, it just doesn't seem to, you can see the difference in the crumb. What did that work out as in total for the carb value on that? That tray was 130.
130 grams of mix for that.
So 20 grams of carbs for a meal, for a family meal there. The oil has got a lot of crumb in it. You can see it just coming down the back of the pan. So there's a lot of crumb in there. However, the oil is perfectly usable again. So let it cool down, properly cool down. Don't let it go solid. Strain it through a metal sieve into a container that you can store. Sort of, so we use empty yogurt pots. So it's got to be cool before it goes in there, and then reuse it in exactly the same way. Just reuse it for other frying. So the chicken mix that I've just used is the Keto Fitness.
Keto Fried Chicken.
Oh, keto,
you've even looked at the label.
I know, but I saw the Keto Fried Chicken mix. So this has been made specifically for us, so it doesn't contain any wheats, doesn't contain any starches. Even the baking powder that's in it is a gluten-free baking powder with no wheat or starches in it. A good depth of flavour to it. So there we go.